In this video, I'm going to tell you exactly what to do if your book has stopped selling. If you have a book on Amazon and it's just kind of sitting still, it's not moving, watch this video. I'm going to give you 3 very practical ways to get that book selling again. I've helped a lot of self-publishing authors get their books written and launched, and I've also helped them get it going again when it has stopped selling. I've also worked on my own books when I see a lag to infuse a little bit of life into those books as well. So I'm coming from a lot of experience to help you get your book selling again. I want to help you sell so many books that you can retire early, move to some exotic location like Dayton, Ohio, and just I want to help you move to Dayton, Ohio and live the retired dream. Just kidding, I want to help you sell some books, so let's get into it. As we get into the strategies of how to make your book start selling again, I want you to know that I'm assuming that you launched well. That is, you made a great product. Number 1, your book is awesome. It's sellable. The front cover, the back cover, the ratings, the reviews, the way you laid out the table of contents, the chapters, the tension you built, the payoff, the promise, it's all there. There's no reason why someone in your target audience would find the book uninteresting. There's no reason why they would find it boring. And when they land on the listing, there's no reason why they wouldn't buy. I'm assuming that. Now, if I'm assuming too much, definitely check out this playlist and I'll help you kind of walk through all of those steps to make sure that you've done all that and you've launched well. You have an awesome product. You used a street team to get the word out. You made sure that you had a lot of ratings and reviews. Like, that's the foundation. All of that stuff has to be there. And if it's not, then that may be why your book isn't selling. The other reason why books have a hard time continuing to sell is because it takes an audience to sell books. When I say audience, I mean the people who follow you on social, the people who more importantly subscribe to your email list, the people who are watching or reading your content, the people who are your fans who look to you as the person who gives them information on this topic if you're writing nonfiction, or entertainment on this topic if you're writing fiction, but you have to have an audience base. And so you can't just write a book and release it to no one and expect it to continue to sell.
Today, Junior!
You have to have an audience and you have to continue to grow your audience. So those kind of things have to be there. But even with that, like while that's working in the background and you're continually growing your audience, there are 3 things that you can do to an existing book to make it sell, and let's get into what those things are. Number 1, infuse it with more ratings and reviews. Here's the thing about Amazon. Amazon wants books to sell.
Today's word is obviously. Obviously. Obviously.
If books sell, then they're going to raise them to the surface. They're going to show up in more search results. They're going to get recommended as customers also bought. They're going to get shown to more people when they search for the keywords related to your book. But if your book doesn't sell, Amazon doesn't want to surface it because they're in the business of making money. So they're going to surface things that actually convert into customers.
Always be closing.
So you have to show Amazon that your book sells. How does a book sell on Amazon once someone sees it? When someone sees a book on Amazon, they're going to read the ratings and reviews. They're going to at least take a look at it and see what people are saying about it. So the best thing you can do while you're looking at a book that's not selling is infuse it with some ratings and reviews. How do you do that? If you have a street team, like I said, and again, check out that playlist if you don't know what a street team is, but it's basically a group of people who you put together when you launched your book to help you get the book out there and get it in front of people. All of those people should have left a rating and review. If they didn't, circle back to them and say, hey, leave a rating and review, okay? I need your help. The other thing you can do is make a spreadsheet of anyone in your family circle, in your friend circle, anybody you know that might be interested in the book, and make the ask. Now you have to be careful here because Amazon kind of frowns on friends and family leaving reviews, but if they buy the book and it's a verified purchase review and they get on and leave an honest review, I think it'll be okay, especially if you just let them know, hey, I really want you to read the book and I really want you to leave a rating and review. I think you'll be fine. The other thing you can do is anytime anyone ever reaches out to you and says, hey, I liked the book. I thought it was really good. Every single time, without exception, ask them to leave a rating and review. The way I do it is I write back. Let's say it's an email. I'll say, hey, thank you so much for that. That means a lot. Those words are just amazing. So kind, so amazing, so kind. Hey, would you consider leaving a rating and review on Amazon? It really helps. Thank you so much. Here's a link. Okay, that's the way I do it. And typically they follow up and say, absolutely. I wait a couple of days. I go check on Amazon. I see if the rating or review is there. And guess what? If it's not, I'll email back at least one time and I'll say, hey, thank you so much for agreeing to leave the Amazon review. I checked, it's not there yet. Just want to make sure you were able to do that, okay? That might be annoying for some people to do, but I'm just telling you, most people, they forget, they move on, they have every intention of leaving you a review, but they don't. And so when you just give that little reminder, that's typically all it takes for people to go, oh yeah, I'm supposed to do that. And they get on and they leave a review. It can be really, really helpful. The other thing that I like to do is keep a spreadsheet of anyone that I've asked to leave a review, how I asked them, whether I texted them or called them, or it was in person, back when we used to do things in person. And then I also note when they responded, what they said, if they agreed to, and then I check it off when it's done. My goal, anytime I launch a book, is to get to 25 reviews as fast as I can. But no matter where you are, if you are having a hard time making your book sell and it's already on Amazon, just try to get 10 more reviews. 10 fresh new reviews. That's your goal. Number 2, you're gonna talk about your book in every piece of content that you put out for 3 months. Now you might be saying, wait a second, my book is 2 years old. People are gonna freak out when I just come right out and start talking about my book again. It's okay, it doesn't matter. If your book was great 2 years ago, it's probably still great right now. So every single time you put out any piece of content, mention your book in a different way. Maybe one day you can just say, hey, I've got this great book on this topic that I'm talking about in this video. You can check it out on Amazon. There's a link in the description. Easy. Or another way you could do it is you could actually read one of those reviews that comes through. Hey, I want to tell you about what so-and-so said on Amazon about my book, and read the review, especially if it's a great review. Don't read a bad one, okay? Only read the 5 stars, the book's awesome kind of thing. But read the review and then thank that person and say, if you want to check it out, there's a link in the description, or there's a link in this blog post, or I'm going to put a link in the show notes if it's a podcast. Whatever it is, every single time, reference the book. Do it to the point where you're so sick of talking about it that you can't stand another person mentioning the book. That's probably about the first time most of your listeners and most of your viewers and audience are hearing about the book. It takes the average person hearing a piece of information 7 times, and preferably in 7 different ways, before they ever register it as something they should do. I know this from the world of church. I'm a church leader, I'm a pastor, and anytime we're trying to communicate information, like we want to give an announcement in church, we might make the announcement on the stage, we might put it in the notes that we give to people when they walk in the door, we might say it at the beginning of the service, at the end of the service, the pastor might say it during the sermon, we might email it out on the list, we might put it on social, and yet still we'll have someone say, oh, I didn't know we were doing that. If you're the one giving the information because you've heard it 1,000 times, you think everybody must be so tired of this. And that's probably the first time that they're actually hearing it. So every piece of content you do for 3 months, mention the book in some way and vary it up. Sometimes it's just a straight, hey, I wrote this book, it deals with this issue, solves this problem, check it out on Amazon. I think you'll really benefit. And other times you get more creative and you read a review, or you read an excerpt, or you talk about one of the chapters, or maybe you have a piece of content where you're talking about some issue and you can say, in my book, in chapter 4, I actually deal with this question in way more depth. You can check it out. There's a link to Amazon in the description, but I'll just tell you a little bit about what I said here. That's a really helpful way to do it, because your listeners, your readers, your viewers will say, oh my gosh, I probably should get that book. And it starts to get in their head and it makes it more top of mind. So number 1, you're going to get 10 additional ratings or reviews. Number 2, for 3 months, you're going to mention that book in every single piece of content you do. And then finally, number 3, you are going to put that book in your welcome sequence. Now, what do I mean? Here's what I mean. If you are an author, You are also an online business owner. Okay, you're a content creator, which means that if you want to sell the most amount of books and impact the most amount of people, you've got to capture email lists. I have a whole playlist right here on how this process works, but just know right now, anytime you make a piece of content, you want to invite people to take the next step, and you use what's called a lead magnet. It's called lead magnet because it's attracting, like a magnet, leads to your business. So this is what it's called in the kind of marketing world. It's a lead magnet. It's a way to offer something to people for free in exchange for them subscribing to your email list. Once they're on your email list, obviously they can unsubscribe at any time, but most people, at least at first, don't unsubscribe. So once they get on your email list, you can set it up to where they automatically are sent a series of emails over a course of a week. This is called a welcome sequence. And when you do that, you can mention your book and you can talk about your book. You can even give an excerpt from it or maybe give a free chapter of it. And then you can have links to the book. And so you're going at this point from just verbally talking about it in your content and sending people to Amazon to now it's in their inbox and there's links right there where they can buy it right away, and you're making it attractive. I put both of my books in my lead magnet welcome sequence for a couple of years before I had an online course. My books sold every day, all day long because of that lead magnet. It was just an amazing thing. People would subscribe, they would see the book, they would say, hey, I'll buy it. It's 15 bucks, I'll buy the book. The way that you can set all this up is with Kajabi. If you're not on Kajabi yet, you totally should be. You can use my link below, lanesebring.com/Kajabi. And if you end up signing on to Kajabi, I will give you my $25,000 course launch email template, which is how I was able to launch a course. If you are an author, it's a really easy next step to get into making online courses. So if you decide you want to make an online course, then the $25,000 course launch email template will help you know how to use email marketing to sell your course, which is the best way to do it. So lanesebring.com/Kajabi. But if you have some tool like that, you can set all this up. But this does a few things. This actually grows your audience and it exposes them to the book in a way that's more personal than just content that's blasted out to everyone. You're actually having a conversation with that person inside of their inbox, which is awesome. So those are the three things that I would do, and I would do it in that order. I would get those reviews as fast as you can. I would start mentioning it right away, and then I'd build that email sequence and put the book in it. Do that for about the next 3 to 6 months, and I think you're gonna see results. Now, I'm not promising results. I can't promise you anything, but I can just say you don't know unless you try. And these things typically will work with enough time and effort. I want to put something else in your hands for free. If you go to lanesebring.com/5steps, you can pick up my free 5-step guide to writing your #1 best-selling book. My first book was a #1 bestseller in its category on Amazon, and I want to show you the steps that I took to make that happen, especially if you haven't written your book yet and you just happen to be watching this video to see how to keep the book that you haven't written yet selling, then that's for you, or it might help you write your next book. I want to hear from you in the comments. Of these 3 things that I gave you, which one seems the most challenging to you? I want to help you with it. If I can answer more questions, please let me know. So in the comments, let me know which one of these is the most difficult or most challenging to you. Be sure to subscribe to this channel if you haven't yet. Give this video a like if you found value in it, and I will see you in the next video.